I think one of the challenges, and this is true, I think, with shippers as well, when we talk about digital transformation, is, knowing where to start. I mean, you look at this, you can look at a slide in terms of what digital transformation means, and it's this long journey, and sometimes it can become, overwhelming. So I guess, is there a common, starting point for small brokers? I mean, how should they prioritize their efforts and investments?
This is an interesting question, because the very first thought is, should I adapt to technology or not, is a bigger question. Once they make the choice, so where do I start, right? The where do I start has two components. One is time-wise, when do I start, and what is the plan? Is it a all-in once, or how is it phased, right? And which areas should I start? First point I'll say this is when bought, right? You should have adapted to technology yesterday. That is, literally, that's how critical adapting to technology is. If a broker is sitting on the fence and thinking, should I adapt or not? That thought itself is the killer here. You should not have that thought. You should already be thinking about, I'm adapting to technology. Because in today's world, extremely difficult to compete with the brokers that have technology and the knowledge that comes with it. When we say technology provides a lot of insights into what's happening with the freight market. How do you make yourself stay on top? It's like riding a wave, or in front of the wave, so you're getting the benefits of the growth in the market. So that's an important. The second part is, where do you start? There are three areas where brokers have technologies. And in our conversations today, there is a fourth and a fifth one, but we're going to ignore those two, because we're talking about brokers taking advantage of carriers. Right? The three areas are, one is digital freight matching. Freight matching. Simply put, putting the right load in front of the right truck. That's the key part. The second one is visibility of it, because it has a lot of feedback into the first part. The second is, visibility has become a huge thing for shippers today. You can walk into a shipper's office and say, hey, I'm going to move your freight, and I don't know when. I can tell you where the load has been picked up or not, and where the load is and all of that. The shipper is going to kill that deal immediately. The third one is the feedback loop, meaning sending the PODs, invoices, or getting those from the carrier to the brokerage, and from the broker to the shipper, because that move can reduce the days of operation for you. And also, more importantly, it smoothens your operational cost. Right? These are the three areas. And what we have seen in the past years is people typically start with visibility, because it's the lowest hanging fruit is visibility. Getting that visibility has two advantages. One, you're talking to a carrier, adapting that carrier to a technology. The second part is, you're also fulfilling your shipper's requirement. It's not even step one, it is step zero. The step one is digital freight match, because that has the biggest value for you as a broker. Now in 2020, what we have seen is step zero and step one became just step zero, because everybody wanted real-time visibility, they wanted digital freight match. So they're adapting to it at a much faster rate. And two competing forces here. One, the shippers demanding for visibility. The second one is capacity crunch. The majority of this year, we've gone through this. There's a huge capacity crunch. The third part, then the next step comes in, is the documents flowing back. Now, these three are very, very, very much important for brokers. There is also a second part to that. That is, how do I go about these three? You want these three phases connected. Connected technology is probably the most important thing, because if you don't connect these technologies and you just buy these separately, then there is a cost of connecting them, and that fragmentation can also be a bigger problem.
Very interesting. I mean, I think you're right. Visibility, for 20 years has been, that I've been in the industry, has been, priority number one, particularly for shippers. And I think thanks to the, advancements in technology, they're finally able to get, more of that real-time visibility today to drive their, operations. And obviously, like you said, any broker or carrier who's not able to provide that visibility is not going to be working for very long with a shipper, because that's become a table stakes and a key requirement. And I like the way you broke it up into kind of those three very tangible steps, because like I said before, sometimes this whole journey looks so overwhelming. I sometimes equate it to, I'm a big cyclist, sometimes you look at a 100-mile bike ride and you say, how am I going to do 100 miles? Well, you do it 1 mile at a time, right? And if you think about, I still have so many, I did 1 mile, but I still got 99 more to go. It could be very, anxiety inducing, right? But if you kind of break it up into these very manageable, quick wins, if you will, right? Take it 5 miles at a time, recognize the fact that you've achieved you've made some progress. You take the benefits from those initial steps and roll it into, to help invest into the future steps. I mean, I think that has proven time and time again to be a winning strategy to go about this. And you're right. I think in this environment, because capacity is getting tight, because the need to match shipments with capacity, demand with capacity, and those that are able to do it quicker, more efficiently, to meet the shippers' demands, but also keep the carriers their assets moving with minimal delay time, with minimal empty miles, and the like. I mean, brokers are kind of sitting in the middle there. They're able to keep those two constituents happy via freight matching. I think that's a key capability for success.